everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here once again with yet another episode of the No Gimmicks podcast alongside my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada. Dale, what is good, my man?
What up, Todd? All right. Yeah, we continue to break down the matches of January. Well, for this one, we're going to go ahead and look at everything that was good in Impact Wrestling. And one of the big things I guess we could also say is that is good about Impact Wrestling in the month of January is they dropped 3 letters from their name. So
yes, they did. No more TNA in Impact Wrestling. Yeah, I'm beginning to see some positive changes already, besides that New Day-inspired owl design that Anthem is using as their logo. But I think things are flowing a lot better, and I'm seeing, some decent storylines developing between the talent over there in Impact. So speaking of which here, we're going to go to our first match involving 2 of the bigger superstars on their roster. We have Moose taking on Drew Galloway from Impact for the Impact Grand Championship. So there were definitely some good displays of athleticism by both big men here in this contest. The match actually went the distance and was actually a pretty competitive back and forth match. Galloway used some heelish tactics, much to the dismay of the refs who deducted some points from his score. In the end, Drew Galloway was able to take advantage of the situation, hit his Claymore kick to win his first Impact Grand title. Dale, what's your thoughts on this one?
I've been a little skeptical of the Grand Championship since it kind of started. I haven't really gotten behind too many of the matches, but they've had 3 now, all involving Moose, 2 involving Drew Galloway, and then 1 with Mike Bennett that have kind of started to make the Grand Championship finally feel like they can actually accomplish something within the time frame and this structure of the rounds. Because I don't know, when Aaron Rex had it, I just wasn't feeling this match. But now all of a sudden it seems like it's picked up a little bit. And we start here, and obviously, because it is a unique concept, but I think maybe that they're finally starting to kind of get in the flow of it a little bit themselves, because it's one that you have to structure your match a little bit different when you're working kind of in the time frame of per round. So that definitely aids or detracts from the way you're going to set your matchup.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's definitely taken a while for this concept to develop, and it's actually come together pretty nicely. I agree, because I was pretty skeptical about it at first as well. But yeah, I think you just have a lot more talent involved now. Now that you have guys like Drew Galloway, Moose, and Mike Bennett. It's a sad commentary on Aaron Retz, because he just has kind of fallen off a bit, and I'm not as big of a fan of him as when he was in WWE as Damian Sandow. That guy's just lost something. I'm just not a fan of the whole new gimmick. I don't know why he needs to try it like Liberace, but that's a different story for a different time there. Moving on to our next top match from Impact Wrestling for the month of January, we have the Broken Hardys taking on the Wolves for the Impact Tag titles. So this is a classic example of when you have a tag team that's cohesive and has good chemistry versus a team which at one point was literally one of the best tag teams in wrestling, but has spent so much time apart due to injuries, and it's really showing for the Wolves currently. Nice display of tag team offense during the contest by both teams, but in the end, the Broken Hardys utilized their experience and chemistry as Jeff was able to get the sneaky roll-up for the win. Dale, what's your thoughts on this?
I just think that this is one of probably the better tag team outings that we've had from Impact lately. I knew that kind of ending the year for them was a struggle in terms of match quality, but I think, as you pointed out, with this new direction from Anthem, I think we started off pretty much in the month of January a little bit stronger for Impact, and this is just one of those directions is finally getting some decent tag team matches because we had some good efforts at the end of 2016. It's like with the Hardys and the Decay, but I don't know. It's like for what it is, I still felt like Matt and his crazy delete obsolete stuff was taking over Impact at the end there. And while it's entertaining, the matches weren't really delivering too much in strong wrestling quality. So yeah, this one, as you said, is it's the Wolves and the Hardys, two tag teams that have a track record of success, and it was good to finally see the Wolves back together. How long it lasts, we don't really know, but we kind of know what you're going to get from both teams. Jeff's going to be your aerial guy for the Hardys, but then for the Wolves, you're going to have aerial guys for both parts, but Eddie's really the main guy that does that there with the short strength from Davey Richards. He might be short, but he can sure give you some strong blows.
Yeah, he's definitely dynamite, man. And I mean, the thing is, I keep on seeing that look in Davey Richards' eyes. You know, I just can't help but think that some sort of a heel turn has got to be coming for him soon. I don't think that the Wolves are going to have much more longevity as a tag team, so it should be interesting to see how that develops. And I'll tell you what, if we do get Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards, that could be one hell of a feud, possibly some, even some good match of the year candidates out of those two. But moving on here to our next match from Impact, the top match of January, we have two of the ladies from Impact featured in this one. We have Rosemary, who took on Jade in a Monsters Ball match at Genesis. If I didn't know any better, I almost could have sworn for a second that I was watching an episode of Lucha Underground. The reason why I say that is because that's one of the few companies that actually allows the female competitors to take things to the extreme. We saw thumbtacks used in this one. We saw a barbed wire board. We saw a table get used in this chaotic affair. Jade really gave it her all in this one, but it was the psychotic Rosemary who remains the Impact Women's Champion. So, Dale, what's your take on this?
Yeah, this one was definitely, I thought, a good showcase for the women in a weapons match, and you don't see them too often. It was like to the extent where you can see some good physicality between it. Obviously, WWE likes to market themselves as putting Charlotte and Sasha in the first Hell in a Cell, but Hell in a Cells are now watered down to what they used to be. And basically that match just was them in a cell with some tables. It's like this one was a little bit different. It's like because once you get the thumbtacks, you kind of know that things are a little bit real. Even though the thumbtack don't prick you too far, it's like it's the one moment where you can actually kind of see the impact when it's sticking in someone. So the thumbtacks are the things that make it real. And even that little barbed wire wood area isn't completely not the ability to catch yourself. So the only thing that is like the only knock that came from this one was an editing error where it looks like at least in my version, you never saw Jade actually throw Rosemary on the barbed wire. She just was there. So it's like she was up in the position, and the next thing you know, she's writhing in pain on top of the barbed wire.
Okay, so did you miss the moonsault spot with Jade, where she went for the
Nope,
moonsault?
I saw that part.
Okay.
It was the.
That's funny because I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, it was the part right before. It was like when she's going to throw her on top of the barbed wire. It's like she has her set up, and the next thing you know, she's on the barbed wire.
Huh. Weird. Okay. Yeah, definitely an editing error on there.
But even you. I'll
have to go back and take a look.
Even
at it.
you hit on it. The moonsault was like to Rosemary from Jade through the barbed wire area there. Definitely, these two these two are basically, I think, the class of what's left of the Knockouts division in Impact right now.
Yeah, without question.
A division that used to be pretty strong now definitely is trying to rebuild itself. So,
Yeah.
but they're pretty solid at the top. But we'll see if anybody else can work their way into the division right now.
Yeah, definitely be interesting to see. You know, when it was still TNA wrestling, you know, when they first kind of came on the scene, the two things that really separated TNA from the rest of the wrestling companies out there were the strength of the Eds division and the Knockouts. And as you said, the Knockouts have basically, you know, been limited to those two as the top two competitors, and the Eds division is nowhere near what it once used to be. So who knows? Maybe with this new direction that they're going in with Anthem, maybe they'll possibly be able to rebuild both of those divisions back up. So moving on here to our next top match from January from Impact, we have Eddie Edwards, who took on Lashley for the Impact Heavyweight title at Genesis. So towards the beginning, you might have had reason to believe that this would actually be a squash match. Lashley had full control of the match, getting 2 falls quickly over Eddie Edwards. Eddie took advantage of an exposed turnbuckle and began to turn things in his favor. Although Eddie was able to capture Lashley in a guillotine submission, the Destroyer hung on with time trickling down the clock to maintain the 3-2 lead and win the Impact World Heavyweight title. Dale, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, another strong showing between these two. The interesting thing, real quick, that I thought is how Iron Man matches have been shrunken down to 30 minutes.
Yeah, they used to be an hour.
When typically your main event is maybe 5 minutes away from going 30 minutes anyway, with just one fall, and now we're doing 30-minute Iron Man matches. So,
yeah.
I just thought that seems a little funny that we're going to do an Iron Man match in 30 minutes, which is not much longer than your main event anyway. But back to the match here.
Yeah.
Strong start from Lashley in this one. He got 2 early pinfalls and definitely did some damage to Eddie on the stage area. But then we get back into the ring, and Eddie was able to then quickly get 2 falls to kind of even things back up. I even had to go back and watch it again because I had missed how Eddie got the first pinfall. I saw the second one following the Boston Knee Party, and they go, it's 2-2, and I was like, where the heck happened to the first fall? So I had to go back 5 minutes and check out a little bit more of the stuff to figure out where the heck Eddie picked up the first fall. But you always know it comes right down to the wire with 1 fall separating the finish. So, and that's what it did there. Eddie just ran out of time.
Yeah, a little bit too much, too late there. He took a power slam on the outside from Bobby Lashley, didn't he? During that match.
Yes.
Wasn't that one of the big spots? Yeah. I mean, yeah, he definitely took his licks in that one. Yeah, definitely a good showing out of both guys here. And speaking of Lashley, our next top match from January from Impact features Lashley versus EC3 in a last man standing match. So Lashley got a bit more than what he bargained for in this match. EC3 was ready for him. You know, since this match was contested under no DQ rules, EC3 definitely took advantage of that, using a number of tables and chairs along the way. Lashley might have been a bit out of his element here, but was able to rise to the occasion. And he was able to defeat EC3, you know, and be declared the last man standing. Dale, what do you have to say about this one?
Yeah, this one was another good showing. Is basically right now you got 3 men at the top of the ladder in Impact Wrestling. Eddie Edwards, Lashley, EC3. We'll get to them in a minute because they in themselves in one match combined for another match on our Impact Matches of the Month. But this one was a long-going feud between Lashley and EC3 where they've been going for the title, for number one contender, back and forth. These two have definitely elevated themselves, and I think this is part of where you have kind of started to see what type of talent EC3 can be. And this one is just kind of interesting.
Yes.
Because really you got two guys that don't do too much of the aerial stuff, but they definitely
Right.
know how to work here. It's like Lashley's the big MMA type, like Brock Lesnar's, like in EC3's kind of the John Cena type. But
Yeah.
they mesh
Yeah.
well
Good
together,
comparisons.
and you definitely have the table spot where Lashley gets up at 9 and EC3 does not. Lashley ends up going on, and then in the previous matches where he got the World Championship back, so he's now the king of Impact Wrestling again, and EC3 is set to build his way back up the ladder, although I don't know how far he's going to fall, because again, it seems like there are three men over the last several months that have been battling for the title.
Yeah. I don't see him falling too far down the rankings there, and I think you'll probably see eye to eye with me on this. Not only was that a battle of two of the premier talents over there in Impact, but I must say, those are two guys who I felt WWE missed the boat on. I know they kind of gave it a try with Bobby Lashley, and things just didn't quite work out. But EC3, man, if you look at how far that guy has come from his time spent, down in developmental as Derek Bateman, I mean, this guy, he is improved by leaps and bounds. He is a true talent, man. I wouldn't be surprised that at some point they make a run for him again. Our second Impact Grand Championship that makes our top matches from January from Impact, we have Moose taking on Mike Bennett, the Miracle Mike Bennett. So in this one, the Miracle, he really put the big man to test in this match here. He gave his all. Moose broke out a few new moves in his arsenal, including him taking air for a moonsault, and I'm not sure if I'd ever seen him use that senton. He hit a big senton during that match. This one goes to the judges, and Moose was able to hang on and retain his grand title by split decision. Dale, what do you have to say about this?
This is the very first Impact Grand Championship match that I thought actually delivered a nice quality match. So that's why
Yes.
this one is fairly high on the list. Both men had to deliver everything that they had in their arsenal to try to take down the other. And that was the thing, is like this is one of the this one went to a decision. So that both men ended up giving it all and refused to be finished or put away in this one.
Yeah.
And obviously this was the culmination
Definitely.
of the split between Moose and Mike Bennett, was them battling for the Grand Championship. So it definitely delivered. Was the very first time that I really thought that the Grand Championship had hit its stride in Impact Wrestling, and that was part of the reason why it was here. This the 3-round concept is still something kind of interesting. It definitely still has the MMA feel to it, but as I said,
Yeah.
this month of January has really started to feel like we're starting to understand how you can make it work in wrestling.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, just about in any business, not just in professional wrestling, you need to have somebody who is the leader of an initiative or something along those lines. In this case, like I said, I think the leaders for that the Impact Grand Championship are guys like Moose and Galloway and the Miracle Mike Bennett. For whatever reason, it wasn't working out there with Aaron Retz. So I'm actually looking forward to some of the upcoming matches that they have for this belt. Moving on here to our top match from Impact for the month of January, we have Eddie Edwards taking on Lashley and EC3 in a triple threat for the Impact World title. So this was actually the first main event of the new Anthem era for Impact on Pop. Lots of collaboration on behalf of Edwards and EC3 to subdue the powerhouse known as Lashley. But in the end, Edwards was able to capitalize with the Boston Knee Party and retain his Impact Heavyweight title with a little help from his friend, a returning Davey Richards to Impact Zone. So, Dale, what's your thoughts on our top match from January from Impact?
Yeah, I just think this is another one that we saw all three men showcase their stuff. Is that you had the high-paced quickness of Eddie Edwards with his shots of caffeine and his Boston Knee parties. You had the physicality of Bobby Lashley with his suplexes and body slams. And then you kind of have the guy that's in the middle that's a little bit willing to do some of both, EC3. And then obviously at the end you had the big kicker for this was the return of Davey Richards, and then I think I might be getting confused now with some of the highlights. He didn't. Did he take out Lashley in this one, or did he mistakenly hit EC3? I can't remember now. Because like there was the one night pay per view. There was the one night pay per view that I might be now getting myself confused with.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, when he interfered, when Davey Richards came out, I believe he actually hit Lashley. I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then it was at the one night pay per view that he accidentally hit EC3. All right, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a strong effort out of these three guys. I mean, you couldn't really expect anything more from them. But this is what we do, you guys. We talk wrestling all the time. Dale and I could sit here and do this all night long, but unfortunately, we have come to the end of this episode. Thank you for joining us for our top matches from the month of January for Impact Wrestling. We are no gimmicks, no image, all wrestling all the time. Please visit our official YouTube channel. You can find us at www.youtube.com/the No Gimmicks Podcast. If you would like to receive our notifications when we release our new episodes, then please subscribe. We would like to hear from our viewers, so please leave us some feedback in our comments section on our official YouTube channel. Also, please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Be on the lookout for my updates on my personal LinkedIn account weekly, usually on Monday afternoons. Also, check out Craig Perkins' weekly article featured on ProWrestling.com. And remember, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the links to our episodes with other pro wrestling fans on your social media accounts as well. That does it for this episode of No Gimmicks Podcast. For my tag team partner Dale Clifford in Fernley, Nevada, this is Todd Smith in Bristol, Connecticut signing off. Until next time around, y'all take care.